Well, hey, welcome back to the channel. Oh, so we got these boots going on, and taking all the laces out. And today in the mail, I got my Obenauf's heavy duty LP, leather protectant, leather preservative, and I'm going to apply that to these boots today. So I also got another thing of Obenauf's oil that I can use because this one's almost gone. So I'm going to brush the boots off real quick. So I've been wearing them all week, been wearing them since Saturday, Sunday time frame, and they're coming along. Like I said in the other videos this morning, this area is getting really soft. It's coming out nice, and you know, it's all breaking in really well. If you ever broken in a pair of boots like this, you'll know it is not an easy or comfortable process. You really have to work at it. You really have to take your time and be patient. Don't let the boots beat you. Just they get uncomfortable, take them off for a while, put them back on, come back to them. I've been struggling with them only because I decided I was going to wear them for a full day every time and not worry about all the pain I was having. I just decided I was going to wear them straight through to see how I could do. And for the most part, I did okay. Today I took them off I put them on probably 7:30 this morning. I took them off at 5 o'clock this afternoon, right before dinner. And of course, they marked up my socks, and as they do. And I think they will continue to do that for a while. But I got them on a white towel. Actually, I prepped this white towel situation because I'm getting ready to pull the valve body out of my Dodge truck. If you've been following my channel, for any of the things I post outside of the boots, I gotta put a shift kit in and all the electronics in my 48 RE transmission out of my 2006 Dodge Ram. So I had all that kind of laid out here, and I kind of shoved it off to the side so I could do this boot video, because this is the only place that I can really get some peace in the evenings, and I've got really good lighting in here, so you can really see what I'm doing. I got these super duper LED pedal lights off of Amazon, and they're really good. So let's get to it. The only place I'm really collecting any dirt is right here in the tongue area. So brush that out. Again, I've only been wearing these around the driveway area. I haven't really, I don't really wear them in the dirt too much yet because I'm still breaking them in. I really don't have a reason to go in the dirt specifically. I don't have any holes to dig, and I planted a big old oak tree a couple weeks ago, and since then I haven't had a need to go digging any holes. So, and if you live in the southeast, anywhere north of the Florida state line and south of Tennessee, you'll know that we got red clay down here, and that stuff is like concrete trying to dig it up with a shovel. So even if I did have holes to dig, I probably wouldn't do it. I'd probably go get an auger, a power auger, just so I could save myself the anguish of trying to get a hole dug. So these down here, the ground is serious, and you need a machine to work it a lot of times. So, but this is a brand new can of Obenauf's. I literally got it today. You can see it's not ever been used. It doesn't really smell like the oil does. Obviously, it's got a pretty low melting point. I'm just barely touching it with my finger, and it's already starting to. Yeah. And it's got kind of a. It does not smell like the oil. The oil smells like new car smell to me. This just smells like wax. But let's get it rubbed in here. I'm going to go heavy. Everything I'm doing with these boots is going to go heavy because I want these boots to soften up and break in and kind of re-moisturize. The amount of whatever they were stored in, it just didn't do them any good. So I'm going ham. But there's I don't know, you can see it in the camera, there's already black stuff coming off, like black, it's all like the dye of the leather is coming off on the actual paste that I'm putting on the boots. So, and it's going to get in which is fine, it's not going to hurt anything if it gets in here at all. But some people say, oh, don't put that oil all over your hardware. And I watched a lot of boots videos, a lot of people conditioning boots and advice on boots and reviews on boots before I even ventured into buying a pair of Wescos, or before I made my order for my JK boots, which I think they shipped out. After I sent them back, they were, as I explained in the other video, they were made a little incorrectly. Shipped them straight back to Spokane, and it looks like I got a shipment notification in my email saying that something was on its way, so I'm assuming it's that. But you can tell, like on the toe, I just put that grease on there and it's already soaking in. These things are drinking it right up. So hopefully my JK boots are here and I can actually do a real unboxing for you. For those. I did an unboxing, but the footage wasn't really good, and I really didn't have my train of thought together on it, and it just kind of sounded choppy. And so I'll do an unboxing when they get here, and we'll talk about JK boots. Again, I have no complaints about JK boots at all. Even though I had to send my pair back, I sent them back, and it was great response, and it was great customer service. So mistakes happen. I'm not a boot maker. I don't know how hard or easy it is to make a pair of boots and have them come out exactly right. I got the North package, so it was a little pricey, but for the price that I paid, I mean, I'm already getting the customer service that I came to expect from that purchase. When I called them up and said, hey, my boots don't fit right and they don't feel right and they hurt my feet and my ankles, and they said, okay, well, ship them back. So I did. And they got them, and it looks like they've already fixed the problem. They got them. I shipped them on the 13th, and they received them on the 15th, according to UPS tracking, and I got a ship notification that they had them about 5 days, and it looks like they've already fixed the problem, and they're shipping them back. So, not a bad turnaround. Again, I only had the boots for a couple of days, so I didn't really have any time to break them in like you would need. Like with these, of course, I've had these, been wearing these things for all of this week, and they're just now starting to soften up after oiling them super heavy, cleaning them super heavy, and getting them softened up. So I'll apply a lot of this by hand, but around the welt and some of these other places where I don't want to miss anything, I got a brush that I've designated for those areas that I'm going to use, and that is this little kiwi applicator right here. I'm gonna use that. I could have used that the whole time, I suppose, but I didn't. But yeah, these things they're softening up. They're not stiff in the morning. They're not. I don't find that overnight when I take them off and they start to dry from wearing them all day and sweating in them, that they're stiff and uncomfortable in the morning. They're getting there. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes wearing. You just got to wear them. You got to wear them in. But this tongue leather, even though this is typically the softer leather on a boot, this tongue leather on this boot is actually quite stiff, and I think it just dried out a little bit. Got a little dry, and I actually might put a little bit of this LP on the inside of the ankles and stuff like that to get them softened up from the inside out too. It's probably not going to hurt. But you can see it's just soaking it right in. trying to get these, a lot of these creases really well done. But it just soaks it right up, that's for sure. And I recommend this Obenauf's LP for sure. This is the first time I've ever used it. Man, it's got a really low melting point. Turns into a nice grease. That's pretty much the outside of the boot. I think I might actually use that brush for this whole other boot just to see how it works out. Because applying it with your fingers isn't exactly the most efficient way to do that. So, and it's relatively warm in this. I'm in my garage, so it's relatively warm in here because it's been hot here in Huntsville. So, I mean, it's neighborhood kids are still out playing. Oh yeah. So. Almost got interrupted there. When I was in the military, when we still shined our boots before that we went to the boots, basically the rough out suede boots that the military kind of went to, in the coyote, the sage, and all those colors. I used to use this brush to apply black polish and then shine them up, and use a cotton ball and dip a cotton ball in water and make the toes of my boots mirror shine, make the heels mirror shine. I don't miss those days. Not at all. Those days were not fun days for me. I worked on a flight line on airplanes, and you couldn't go 5 minutes without scraping your boots across the concrete or walking on the wings and getting polish all over the white airplanes. I worked white jets, so anybody who knows anything about aircraft maintenance in the Air Force knows what a white jet is, and you've got to have super clean everything, and they get washed all the time. God forbid the generals and people like that fly around in dirty airplanes. But there's some horsehairs coming out of these brushes, but that'll buff off. Off. So that's one whole boot. You can see it just soaks it right up. I mean, you can see already it's already soaked in so much. That's one. I'm just gonna use this whole brush for this whole other boot. Be a little bit more efficient. Bought this can of Obenauf's, this tub of Obenauf's LP just for these boots. The couple days that I was able to wear my JK boots before I sent them back, they send you this a 16-ounce can of this. That's where the original can came from, and just a little bit around the ankles on the inside and out, as they advise from their YouTube channel. and those boots started to break in. So in the 3 days that I was able to wear them before they really got to the point where I needed to send them back, they were already, the backstay and this upper were already starting to break in very comfortably, and the rest of the boot is rough out. It's all brown rough out leather, and it was already starting to break in. I was getting good creasing across the toe and everything else, and it was really comfortable. And for a pair of boots that was made out of 7 or 8 ounce, basically felt like I was putting on saddles on my feet the first time I put them on, because I'd never put on a pair of boots like that. For a pair of boots that were built as heavily as these type of boots are, and for having, it just was amazing how well they were starting to break in as fast as they were. You see it's already soaking that up. But JK and Wesco are 2 different companies, so they're going to break in differently. They're going to build their boots the way they build their boots, and those boots are going to break in the way they break in based on how they're built. So but I'm really looking forward to getting my JKs back. I got the Honey Vibram sole on the outside, so I got a lace the toe version, and it's got a alignment patch on it as well. It's not the same as, it's a similar design, but it's not the same as this. But I like that alignment patch because in case I start to get into a situation where I'm beating up the inside of my shoes, and I don't ride a motorcycle or anything like that, but it's good to have a little extra leather kicking things. And I got the Technora thread, so because I do a little bit of everything, so I end up welding, and I'm around digging, and jack of all trades, doing diesel work and refitting Toyotas for my for family. I just redid the timing belt on a Toyota Tundra for a family member, and just trying to take care of everything, house, residential maintenance, doing normal remodeling stuff. Thankfully, I don't got to do that on this house because I bought a newer house, so I didn't have to live in a construction zone for X amount of years while I got it finished, because I did that on the last house. And while I made some good money on that house, and I can appreciate that, I did not like living there, constantly shaking drywall dust off of everything. But I bought a pair of boots that I could do anything I needed to do in them. These Wescos I got for a deal off eBay, so I bought them to try them out. And what these will probably end up being is a good pair of really just great beater boots, where I can go out and anything I don't want to put $1,000 pair of boots through, I can put these through and not worry about it. The North package from JK is $985, and when I got the boots, I could tell immediately that they were great boots, and I'm definitely not going to complain about the quality of workmanship or the customer service. The Technora thread has no melting point, and I don't know if it's unbreakable. I don't know if anything's really unbreakable, but I'm probably not going to beat it to death to the point where it would break the way normal thread would break. Get a little bit of this stuff on the inside here, and hopefully loosen up some of this leather, because these babies are still stiff. It's getting softer, doing a lot better than it was, but as dry as they were, every little bit helps, I think. insole of these boots is on its way. I mentioned that in the other video. Actually went to the Wesco website and ordered some false tongues and some size 11 insoles, because these don't have insoles. I think whoever had them pulled the insoles out of them, probably because they were moldy, before they sold the boots to me on eBay. But I have not had too much ankle pain from them. A little bit of pinch in the front. Do the best I can to avoid that if I can, but it's pretty tough. I mean, bending down and, you know, trying to work on a truck and stuff like that, you end up not realizing that you're still in a pair of boots you're breaking in, and bending down at the ankle too far, and you know, you do that a little too much. The only spot I've noticed that's really tough to break in is right here on the inside of the boot, right where your big toe is. This area right here, the boots don't bend in the forefoot as much as I thought they would. Maybe that's a Wesco thing, or I don't know. But right here, this leather is really tough. I think they have a Solastic toe in there, that plastic toe structure. It's not a composite toe. It's definitely not steel toe. I would have bought them that way. Steel toe boots, I explained that in the very first video. Steel toe boots are just uncomfortable to me no matter what. I think it's just the way I walk. When I walk, my toes kind of spread out, and I didn't realize it, but I now have E-width feet. My feet are an E-width that I was not aware of. I didn't realize I had that until I bought the JK boots, and they called me when they got my order before they started making my boots, and he asked me what size I typically wore, and then looking at my sizing sheet that I sent in, he said I should be in an E-width boot. So I went from a D-width to an E-width, and I couldn't be happier, because that little bit of extra room really did make a big difference in comfort. But we'll see what happens. But I'm not disappointed in getting these boots. These boots have been a lot of work in the last week or so, but these boots I think are going to be worth it, especially for the price I paid. $175 plus shipping on these boots off of eBay, and I think everything came out to like $197 after it was all said and done, to my front door. Again, they need a little work, but that little bit of work will probably be worth it in the end, I think, because they're coming along nicely. So what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to let them just sit overnight right where they're at on this towel, and let them dry in the morning. I'll come and buff all the horsehair off of. There's horsehairs all over the boots, and there's now horsehair in my boot salve. But I'm gonna leave my shine box and everything out here, and get all the extra goop off of this. I'll probably just keep doing this, using this brush to apply this stuff. I'll probably just keep throwing this into a Ziploc freezer bag or a Ziploc bag inside this box. That way it doesn't get stuff all over. But yeah, in the morning I'll come out here and buff them off before I put them on. It's actually pretty warm. It's probably 80 degrees in this room, in my garage. So they should do, I mean, they're soaking up the oil super well anyway, as they will. But I think they'll be dry enough in the morning. If they're not, I'll let them sit another day, and then start wearing them again until my JKs get here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm wear the JK boots one day, and then these the next, and then I'm going to just alternate back and forth. Because I'm afraid if I let these sit for more than a couple of days, they'll start to harden back up, and I definitely don't want that, because I put a lot of time into breaking them in. At least 8 to 10 hours every day this week, so I'm rolling up on at least 30 to 30 to 40 hours worth of wear on these, breaking them in. So, but don't forget to like and subscribe. I dirtied up my towels, so I think mission accomplished. Thanks for watching.